This is the 20th season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, AFTCO, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good afternoon and welcome to a very special edition of BTL, an afternoon edition, a noon edition. I've been doing a lot of Minnesota stuff lately and we're going to get right back to it. This is the virtual Bass Derby presented by Omnia PRO with Seth Feider live from the one and only Mille Lacs. We have in-studio guests, live leaderboards, giveaways, all sorts of cool stuff on the docket. Let's bring in right off the hopper Pete and Kip from Omnia. Guys, hell of a session to start things off this morning. You had Bailey from Serious Angler and Seth Feider was just putting the inches over the gunnel.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It's going a lot better than I pictured for our first go around at this. I this morning right away, I thought there'd be a lot more technical issues, but so far, knock on wood, the feed's been good and Seth's catching them. This has been a fun day so far, and we really want to thank you for participating in this. It's fun to share this with all the BTL listeners and stuff. Cool.
It is Omni, a big supporter of BTL and a number of different podcasts around. Really appreciate that support. Always trying new and innovative things. This is one of those things to kind of give back to the patrons, to the consumers who support Omnia, not only in the northern part of the United States, but all over the country. Kip, do you want to give a quick little recap of what we have going on? And then we will bring Seth Feider in live from the hallowed grounds of Minnesota's second largest lake.
Yeah, for sure. So as you mentioned, Seth's up on Mille Lacs right now. He's weighing in or measuring in his best five smallies. Right now he is sitting in 9th place. So he's climbed up the leaderboard pretty substantially. There's only a few guys in the northern region that are beating him, but he's got some work to do. There's Florida with 108 inches. It's been super competitive. But to just touch on one other thing, make sure you guys are commenting, participating with the live stream, asking Seth questions. We've got a ton of giveaways coming and some pretty big packages. So we're looking forward to it.
There you go. All right. Without further ado, less than 5 minutes in, live from Mille Lacs, there's the man, the myth, and the legend, Seth Feider himself.
What's up, boys?
How we doing, buddy?
So catching a few.
Yeah. So where are you at on the lake now? I know when we cut off with you were on the west side, down on the southwest.
Yeah, got a little crowded down there for me. I'm actually made a run to the north side. The wind kind of laid for a second. I think we're going to pay for it going home, but it gave me the opportunity to get up to where I wanted to, where I think the fishing's the best. So hopefully we can catch a couple good ones before we got to run back down south. We got a little window here for sure.
So we took a 2-hour break, Seth. Noticed you jumped up from, I think you were at 15th to 9th. So you caught a couple good ones. How was the fishing in the last couple hours?
Dang it. It's been kind of slow, to be honest with you. I got an area that just had too many boats in it. I did end up getting one nice one in there, and then made a run to the north side and caught a cull fish right away. I'm not going to call him a good one, but helped the bottom line anyways. So yeah, hopefully we can catch a couple nice ones here and get up close to that 100-inch mark would be the goal.
I'm assuming, are you up in like the northwest corners? Because it doesn't, I mean, obviously the camera lies to us, but it doesn't look as bad as I pictured the north end being with that prevailing.
Well, it's kind of laying
wind
down right now.
It's actually the wind we're showing. Oh, there it goes.
There's a big rain cell just kind of right on the north side of the lake, and I think that coming by has kind of laid the wind down for a second. Okay. But I got a feeling once that passes, it's gonna get pretty ugly. So just gonna try to make hay while we can up here.
Gotcha. So you feel like that wind's laid down a little bit. Do you think did that wind help you out this morning, do you think?
No. Pretty much everything I've weight's come off a bed. I caught some casting around, but my 5 biggest ones I got were all on beds, and I got some nice ones out in the middle of the lake. I might try to go back. I tried them this morning. It was just pretty well unfishable for what I wanted to do. I couldn't see nothing, and couldn't see them on perspective because the trolling motor kept jumping out of the water. But yeah, might go back and try those. But yeah, the wind's definitely not helping anything.
Gotcha.
Oh, dang it.
We have a couple of fish catches from this morning. Some of Seth Feider's bigger ones. We're going to roll those, and we'll cut into them if Seth hooks up live. But these are some of the early morning action from Seth Feider, back-to-back fish catches on Mille Lacs.
I gotta get back.
All right, there we go. There's Seth Feider putting two, look to be, what are those, about 5-pound fish? We're doing inches, though. Are those all 20 inchers? Both of those are 20 inchers?
I've caught one legit 5-pounder and one probably 4 3/4, and then the other ones we got in the best 5 are probably 4-pounders.
Yeah. So outside of the bed, it'd be nice for you to walk us through how you're catching them on a bed too, what bait and you're kind of set up for that is too. But in between fishing the bed fish, what are you throwing and what's been working for you so far to keep the numbers going in between the bed fish?
Just swimming a hair jig and then twitching a minnow or shaking a minnow, whatever you want to call it. But all those fish have been, just 3.5, 3 3/4. I haven't got a real big one doing that, even though I think if I do get a chance to catch another really big one today, like a 20 plus, that's probably how it's going to happen. But I think it's going to happen up here where I'm at. These fish are a lot more post spawn on the north end, and you can just fish around and catch them up here. You don't have to be on a bed. Whereas most everywhere else I fished today, pretty much all those fish are spawning. I don't know where the post spawn fish went or the pre-spawn ones. They might be out deeper, but I'm pretty sure all the ones I've got in my bag right now come off beds.
How are you catching them on the bed? What are you using for baits?
Mixing it up, drop shot with a little Z-Man ticklers on there, wacky rigged. Has caught most of them, and then some of them just seem to want it on the bottom. I got a couple on just a little tube with a little Outkast money head, Ned rig head, perfect Ned shoved up in there, just a super little tube. But I've noticed that with the smallies on the bed, some like a drop shot and some want it like on the bottom. So I've been starting with a drop shot. If they ain't eating it right away, then I'll switch to the tube. Like I've got 2 of my nice ones on the little tube. And the other 3 on the drop shot. So
are you using the perspective mode currently?
I am right now. Keep my eyes peeled, see if I see a bed. I'm kind of just using it right now to follow little rock lines and stuff on these flats. I got it zoomed in a lot.
Can you give us a view of your setup again up on the front there, up on the bow? Show us.
Yeah. I want to see the graph here. I got it zoomed in real tight so I can bed fish. I'm just on a 45-foot range, but you can see like little rock piles and ridges and stuff. And I can find a bed. It's kind of more crater-esque. This isn't probably the best spot to look. It's kind of bland here, but something like this. I mean, I've been looking at stuff like that, these little holes and stuff, as potentially as bed fish, and then just kind of watch them and see if I can see something move around on it. But you get kind of a short range because you lose it when you get real close. You know, you get within 15 feet and it just kind of blacks out. And then if you get past 45, I don't really get the detail that I need to bed fish with it. So kind of running her a little tighter than normal, but yeah. It's
Also
working pretty good.
available at omniafishing.com is a screen cleaner.
Yeah.
Pick up.
This thing was clean this morning.
Pick
I
up for
promise you.
$13.99 right there, and then get your pro discount.
Yeah.
I dig it.
It needs a little wipe down, but I
Seth,
can see.
Question. So for those of us who aren't familiar with Mille Lacs, the first time we heard of it obviously would have been in early September back in, was it 2016 when you dominated? You won by almost 7 pounds. Talk a little bit about where the fish are in June as opposed to where they were for the Angler of the Year championships a little bit further along.
Yeah. I mean, there's still fish real spread out on this lake right now, but currently I'm kind of targeting like 12 foot and less. You know, a lot of the fish are spawning, like we said, and some fish cruising around, stuff like that. I mean, they kind of just live on these rock structures, and as the months go on, they kind of move up and down on them. Honestly, like June, everything's going to be pretty well shallow. Even though, I mean, I know the fish will spawn out here 15 plus feet of water, so there's some fish that just never come up. But yeah, right now I'm kind of targeting fairly shallow stuff. And, you know, as the summer goes on, you get into July, they start getting more in that 15, 20 foot range. And then, you know, I guess that's actually when they go the deepest. The lake's not deep. I mean, it's a 30 foot is the max depth on this lake. But August is when I see them go the deepest. There's one on the hair.
Decent one?
No, little baby. Sorry. July they get, you know, in that 15, 20, and then August is like the only time I'll catch them like over 20. They'll get on those real deep boulders and get in that, you know, 20 to 23, 24 feet of water. And then actually in September, they actually start to come up shallower again. I'll catch a lot of those fish in, you know, 10 to 18 feet of water in the fall. And, yeah, so, I mean, they're always kind of on the same rock stuff. They just kind of move up and down it with probably water temp and whatnot. But yeah, for some reason, August, they get the deepest. And then September is, you know, fall. A lot of people think of it as like a deep time, but they actually start coming up a little bit from that. And they'll actually end up wintering in that 15 to 20.
What are you actually working on, Kip, that we're showing? We're showing Seth. We have Omnia PRO pulled up on the side where he's actually kind of looking at some of the things you're talking about.
So this is just our CMAP, social map.
Social mapping.
I was hoping that I could show Navionics while Seth was talking about different depth ranges, but unfortunately that's an app exclusive feature. We've got it on the app, but on the site, social CMAP is what we have.
Okay.
So I just made a waypoint on a 12-foot kind of flat that Seth had mentioned. So
nice.
Just showing the waypoint feature we came out with. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming out with that.
To touch on that's kind of top of mind here for us at Omni is the waypoint features with Pro. You know, we're very confident that we'll have the first in class waypoint management system here. Honestly, currently already in place. What's being tested as we speak right now is mass importing and exporting of waypoints. But currently, you're able to create a waypoint, whether it's your current location you want to, or just a long press on anywhere on the map you want. The Omnia will recognize what body of water it's on, so it sorts it by body of water right away, which is very nice. You can actually share them via text message or however you want with a friend. Makes things much easier. You can edit those waypoints and filter them. If you are saving them in the boat on your phone, let's say, or on an iPad. Oh, we got another fish. Is this a good one, Seth?
Better, yeah.
Good.
That was one I saw in perspective. I might be able to, once we get all tightened up here. I don't know if he's going to help. He looks kind of 18-ish. Yeah, we'll see. I should be able to show you on perspective. Maybe I'll spot lock here and show you what I just threw at. There's just one big rock with a plain as day, just donut right next to it.
Put a waypoint on it for me so I can. But yeah, we'll be able to show you. But when you create that waypoint, what the wind direction was doing, all sorts of weather features. It's gonna be cool stuff.
I don't think he's gonna help. I can't.
How do you land them? What is the strategy for landing these fish? Because I've watched a million of these things, and you seem to be one of the better ones at it.
I don't know about that.
No
I touch them a lot before I get my hands on them most times. This deal, I got real light line. I got 6-pound line on here and a little tiny red line drop shot hook. So I'm really just trying not to horse them at all. Just kind of tire them out and get them on the side of the boat where I can grab them. If it's a real big one, I like chasing them, getting on the trolling motor and following them wherever they go, keeping them close to the boat, because sometimes they'll get tired for a second and give you an opportunity to land them, where you don't have that if they're way out there. But yeah, there's not much with this setup I got right here. There's not a whole lot I can do with them. Just kind of tire them out and go for a little belly scoop. They show you their mouth a lot, and lipping them, like, I don't know, that doesn't work well for me most times. They usually got one good like head shake in them left when you go to try to lip them. No, I just talked about that. Usually I go for the belly grab. Like almost every time I try to lip them, they shake their head and they knock my hand off. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's gonna help.
And that was a hair jig fish, you said?
No, that was a perspective bedfish.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'll measure him real quick, but I don't think he's gonna do nothing for us. 17-incher. All right. Let's see if I can get back to looking at what I saw on my perspective to show you. Let's let him blow off too far. Where'd you go? Hang on. I have to get upwind a little bit. But yeah, I just try to tire them out and then get them either in the driver's seat or the passenger seat, just somewhere I can reach down pretty good. I don't like trying to land them from the front or the back deck. I just can't really get close enough to them. Okay, that must be it right there. Okay, you can see it right here. This is what that fish came off of. There's a big rock right there, and then you got that hole right next to it. I just kind of made a blind pitch to that. It'll look better from a different angle. I got the rock in between us and the bed, but yeah, that's all that fish came off of.
So you didn't physically see that fish. You just looked for the type of structure it would hold.
Yep. Just a rock with a depression next to it. You have a pitch with a drop shot. I don't even know how close I got to it, but he was on it right away. So
live viewer questions also coming in across the way. Let's go. Bobby, when you went up front there, he said, what is that directional deal you have sticking off the front of your trolling motor?
Yeah, that's because I suck at live scope and I need a pointer to show me what my scope's looking at. The good kids don't need that, but it helps me a lot. Actually, a lot with this perspective, because that's even harder to get really pinned down at exactly what you're throwing at. But that thing's pretty well lined up. If I got it on the 0 line on perspective, straight off that pointer, I'm pretty much hitting every time. So, yeah, There's a cool one a buddy of mine made. Got a little wrapped up like a dart, but it's handy if you're a beginning scoper or you're just not a good scoper like me. It helps a lot. I'd recommend it. I know the cool kids don't use them, but oh dang, got throttled right there.
Do you think it's more necessary with a trolling motor like the Move, where it's got kind of a smaller head as opposed to the?
Yeah, I think it
nice.
helps because it's got kind of a rounded head, unlike the the Minn Kota's got a nice kind of point off the head of it, and then the Garmin as well. But I know the Lowrance guys really like the pointers too because they got kind of that arrow that sits inside of the head and spins, so that probably helps them quite a bit as well.
I know you're throwing a hair a little bit. Brandon would like to know what is your preferred setup for the hair, and then what hair jig should he start with if he was just going to buy a handful from Omnia?
Okay. My tried and true is just a 3/32 black fighter fly. I'm actually throwing a damsel color right now just because there was a little bug hatch going on, but 3/32 ounce black. I mean, 90% of the time that's what I'm throwing. And yeah, that's about all you really need. A couple old chewed up Senkos to put on the back, and you're rolling.
Can you talk about that a little bit too? That I know that kind of flies under the radar sometimes about adding the little extra weight by putting a little bit of Senko on there. I know I saw a bunch of the guys, touring anglers, trying out some of the Maxent stuff on the back. Did you see any help with that at all, or is just the tried and true Senko?
Yeah, I mean, you got a few options, and I kind of use different ones depending on what I'm trying to get for depth out of my jig. Like sometimes I get real shallow and I'll actually use a chunk of a TRD from Z-Man because it'll actually float the jig a little more. And I'd say Maxent's probably the heaviest of the, like I'll mess with a Maxent General, the tail end of a TRD, and then a Yamamoto Senko. Seems like the Maxent is the heaviest of the three, and the TRD is the lightest of the three, and the Yamamoto's kind of right in the middle. So
interesting.
Does color?
Yeah, so I can throw the same jig and almost have three different sizes, really.
Yep.
You know, just makes it a little more versatile.
Does color of the Senko ever matter to you, or are you just matching?
I try to match it up, black with black and tan with tan, but I don't think it much matters. It's pretty well hid under the hair, and I'm not hanging it out past the jig, so it's not like an actual trailer. It's just kind of bulks the hair up and then allows for a little better, longer casting. So color really isn't important. I'm just picky, and I always match it, but you could put any color on there, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
This is a good segment into
segue
into our first giveaway. We're talking about the Fighter Fly. We're actually going to be giving away an Outkast Tackle prize pack. So Ethan's going to be picking somebody here, but they're going to be getting some cage fighters, stealth fighters, the Fighter Fly, perfect Ned heads, and some floating flies. Ethan, who do we got for the first giveaway winner?
Well, it looks like our first winner of the Outkast giveaway is going to be Jacob Bell.
Jacob Bell.
Congratulations.
After the live stream here, Jacob will reach out to you via email, and we'll get things coordinated. But congratulations, Outkast Tackle prize pack.
Do you know any of the history on the Fly, Seth? I mean, I remember I'm an Oklahoma guy. We've gone up north. It seems like just a bizarre technique, but everyone up there, it's kind of like throwing a DT6 or a wiggle wart down south.
Yeah. Really, the first place.
There you go.
Does not feel big. No, it ain't. The first place I ever heard of it was out at Sturgeon Bay, but it came from the Canadians. Gussie was the first one I'd ever seen throwing it, and he showed me. It's definitely an Ontario thing, and I believe, don't quote me on this, but there's a couple brothers named the Lindsay brothers. I think they might have been the guys that got on it first and kind of showed it to the rest of the Ontario guys. But basically what happened one year at Sturgeon Bay for that spring tournament, everything, the entire bottom, like normally it's a real, like little tubes are kind of the deal out at Sturgeon Bay, dragging those around, or that's kind of how it always got won. And then one year we went there and the bottom was just covered in this slimy green moss. Like you could not drag anything on those rocks. Like the entire bottom was a carpet, and all the Ontario guys just kicked everybody's butt swimming that little black hair jig over the, over the moss where everyone was trying to drag.
Oh, we lost Seth.
Oh, we lost Seth.
Seth went bad. We'll see if it comes back. If it comes back, yeah,
Did we lose you?
Yeah, we
we're
lost
back.
for a second. You're back. Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know where you lost me. But anyway.
Well, we were
one
right
year
at a slimy. We were talking about slimy bottoms.
Yep.
Yeah, one year at Sturgeon Bay, maybe like 2008 or 10-ish. Yeah, real bad algae on the bottom, and all the guys from Ontario just cleaned everybody's clock on that thing. And it's kind of been a staple from there. And I brought her back to Minnesota and tested her out, and it worked on our smallmouth. There's some smallmouths I've been around that don't really eat it, but a lot of them do. Like we went out to Havasu one year for a Bass Elite, and I just absolutely messed them up on that. Like basically, if you got clear water and smallies, it will work. Some places it's better than others, but Mille Lacs is one of them places. Sturgeon Bay, obviously Lake of the Woods, and all that stuff up in Ontario, and then around where Chris and Corey live, it definitely works there. But yeah, it's got definitely a clear water deal.
On that note, Chris and Corey, I know we touched on it earlier in the morning segment, but could you explain your setup for throwing a hair jig too, like rod, reel, line? What you?
Okay, yeah, I've actually made a switch. Chris Johnston came out with a hair jig rod for Daiwa that I actually like a lot better than mine. Probably shouldn't say that, but his is super, super light. I actually got one on my rod and one on the one I'm throwing right now is on my rod. They're both 7.6 and listed as medium lights, but his is a lot more moderate and a lot softer. And it's probably a better true hair jig rod. Well, I know for a fact it is, but that's about all you can do with that rod. It's literally like a bluegill rod. Not much else you can do with it. Maybe a spy bait, but that would be pretty much all you could throw on his rod. Mine, I it's a lot more versatile. I can wacky worm and drop shot and shake a minnow and do lots of stuff with it. It's just a little stiffer than I'd recommend for some of those smaller hooked hair jigs.
Gotcha. What about line?
The lightest braid you feel comfortable throwing. I got 6 pound suffix on. If you want to go lighter, you can. It's all about like thin braid. That's really the only way you can cast these, with a long soft rod and thin braid. And then leader, I don't think leader matters much. Just kind of the way you fish it, they just come up behind it and track it. So I don't really think they're really getting a good look at your line. I usually tie on 10 or 10 pound, but you could do 12, or heck, you could probably even get away with 15. But I don't ever throw like 6 or 8 on a hair jig ever. But I know some guys that do. But really, that light braid's the key to everything. The floral's not that much of a deal.
Gotcha.
So I know this has nothing to do with the conditions today, but to touch back on the giveaway we just did, he's getting a bunch of different products from Outkast, 2 of which are your jigs, the Cage Fighter and Stealth Fighter.
Yeah.
You talk about those. What's the differences? Where are you throwing them? Things like that.
Yeah. It's basically the same exact head and skirt. The differences, and the same hook. The differences are just the line tie and the lead guard. The Stealth's kind of designed more for like milfoil flipping, soft grasses, stuff like that. I throw them a lot under docks as well. But that's a vertical line tie and a softer weed guard. And then the Cage is really, it's a wood jig. It's horizontal line tie with one step heavier weed guard in it. Just allows you to get it in those lay downs and brush and stuff like that. It comes through that stuff a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're controversial for this in some parts of the world. You got me on it a long time ago, but braid to a leader on a bait caster.
There we
How
go. That
often
might be a big one.
Okay.
This feels good.
Is that a hair jig fish?
Yep. I lied. Just a mean one. Mean 3-pounder.
Any incidental walleyes today?
No. We got one on Monday, and he was in like 4 foot of water. And oh, there he goes. Perfect. See ya. That was it. It's a lot better day for catching walleyes today than it was when we were out. It was slick, calm, and sunny, but no walleyes, no pike, no nothing.
If any of you have ordered from Omnia in the last 24 hours, the truck is here to pick up your packages. So hearing more beeping, that's what that is.
That's one thing we got to talk about a little more. That's like most people I talk to that order from us, all say the same thing. I cannot believe how fast I got my package.
Yeah.
Like ordered it and then got it a day or two later or whatever it may be. But that seems to be a reoccurring thing I hear from people that order from us.
Well, I appreciate that.
Just
shout
how
out.
fast they get it.
We are back out in the warehouse.
Good warehouse crew.
Our warehouse team's on it. We've got people around the rest of the office that if we're swamped on it, we just ran a site-wide sale. They're more than willing to jump in too.
Mm-hmm.
So team effort. We hang our hat on.
That site-wide sale ended yesterday, so if you are looking for a good deal though on some of this tackle we're talking about, look at that code that Matt's got scrolling across the bottom of the screen there. That BTL24 will get you 15% off your order at Omnia Fishing. So
first purchase,
first order. Yep.
I've had multiple people who have been like, "Man, it stopped working," and I said, "Yeah, for your first purchase, and then you get the Pro, and if you want to get the Pro, also Omnia is also running a deal, capital BTL4 Pro to get 40% off Pro membership." And then that comes with all of the perks of that.
Yeah, that mapping stuff, I was touching on it earlier, all that waypoint feature stuff, that's definitely worth that alone, especially with that code from BTL here for that deal on Pro is definitely worth it. But I mean, aside from that, just the commerce side of stuff, it's free shipping, no minimums, and 10% back all the time. So at that 40% off, it's a no-brainer. And in an order or two, you'll make money off making that purchase. So.
Seth, it looks like you're running that NBT on perspective. So you're making general area casts. You're not seeing fish and casting the fly to them. You're just saying that looks like an area where a fish might be using the perspective.
Yeah, at the moment, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of keeping my eyes peeled for a bed, but really, I'm just using it to kind of follow the rock lines and try to make parallel casts, bringing that hair jig down the rock edge versus aimlessly casting it, because out here it's a lot of ridges and edges on these big rock flats. It kind of maybe all looks the same on the map, but he's got a big buddy with him. Dang it.
You can do 2 rods at once. Have at
Can
it. If it's state legal, I'm giving you permission.
I don't know if it's state legal. I don't know the rules. I never do this.
It's not illegal in the state, but we're not going to rat you out, just like as a major tour wouldn't do. We'll just let you go for this. So.
Yeah. So I don't think he's going to help us.
How big was his buddy?
A couple inches longer, but he ain't much, so he might have to beat. I mean, he's 18-incher, so maybe his buddy was 20. I don't know.
Kip, can you pull up the inches standings to see what Seth actually has to tie into here to help?
I believe I need a 19-incher. I think I got 2 18 3/4 I got to get rid of.
What is that pound wise?
We're not doing the conversion, just inches on.
I know, but like I'm not from the north. I don't know what an 18 or 19-incher weighs. Are we talking like a 4-pounder, 5-pounder?
Yeah, they can be all over. I mean, these fish up here are running kind of thin just because they're post-spawn fish. But I mean, I've seen 20 inchers that weigh 3 3/4, and I've seen 20 inchers that weigh 6.5 pounds. I
Okay.
mean,
So you have an 18.5. So an 18 3/4 would give you another 1/4 inch. You have a 21, a 20.5, a 19 3/4, an 18 3/4, and an 18.5.
okay.
I mean, if
Won't be him.
yeah.
Is it him? No, it's not him. Little baby guy. I was hoping that was his buddy, but
If you were to guess what you think your bag would weigh today so far, what do you think ballpark?
Oh, I mean, I might have to have you guys add it up for me. I got a 5, I got a 4 3/4. I probably got a, I don't know, 4.5, and then like a couple high 3s, like 314, 315s, whatever they are.
Yeah, that's strong.
Yeah.
Oh, decent, but
A couple 4-pounders and we're sitting pretty.
yeah.
Run into
This is
one
a
more-
tough time to put up some big weight on the lax, to be honest with you. Like if it was a couple of weeks ago, then them 25, 26 pound bags are real possible, and from here on till early July, you're just dealing with skinny fish.
Yeah.
They're just not going to weigh as much.
One more 20 inches puts you in 4th place, meaning our winners would be pretty thin at that point.
Yeah.
Andrew wants to know why you don't have a spy bait on the front deck. Do you ever mix that in instead of a hair jig?
I only if I have to. On a couple rare occasions, I've seen them bite that a lot better, and that actually bait seems to work a lot better in that July, early August time period for me. But it is, I can't think of a bait that you lose fish on more than a spy bait, to be honest with you. So yeah, I try not to. I've seen a couple scenarios where they definitely prefer that 3-to-1 over a hair jig, but if you lose 2/3 of them, I guess it ain't much different.
Another question about the braid to fluoro leader. There was someone on here who said if they just cannot figure out how to tie an FG, what would you recommend as the second best connection knot?
A modified Albright or crazy Alberto, whatever you want to call it. Basically, you double up your fluoro, come in the loop, wrap down 6 times, turn it around, wrap back up 6 times, and back through that loop in the fluoro, whatever they call that knot. It's pretty dang strong and really easy to tie. The only issues I ever have with that one is you will about the 1,000th time you make a cast, that sometimes that thing will just pop and you'll just send your drop shot 3/4 of the way across the lake. So that's the only problem I've had with that one. And it kind of catches a little more, but it's a really good knot and really easy to tie.
Matt, what kind of connection knot are you running on your spinning rods?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a uni to uni guy.
Really?
Oh, no.
Oh, dude, I know
no.
that's T-ball. But listen, once I start breaking it, then I'll start changing it. But I like to be able to change that leader in 25 seconds if I've got 10 minutes left in the day. Once it starts breaking, I'll start changing. That's how I am with knots. I'm a Palomar and a uni to uni on everything.
I like it.
Are you keeping it out of the actual reel spool then?
No, I'll put it in there. You can nip that thing real tight.
Okay.
But it's not as effective once you get up into the bigger bigger lines. It works real good. Uh-oh.
Oh, Pete had to go talk about walleyes. Way to go, Pete.
Banner.
Jinxed me. It's a delicious looking one too. Look at that thing. He looks good.
Can't even keep any up there this year.
No, you can't keep walleyes on this lake. Oh, you little bugger. Yes, we throw him on the board, he'll call. Thanks, Pete.
You're welcome, bud.
I see a flogger back there. Is that played at all today, Seth?
I've used it not only to check a couple that I couldn't get to bite. He looks nummy. What is he, a 21 incher? Yeah. See ya.
Matt, do you get to stay home for this next open, or do you got, or is it too far overdrive?
Nah, it's like an hour. I'm still getting. Someone has to help cook.
Oh, hey, congrats on the St. Jude.
Thanks.
That
We
was
got to get
impressive.
it. We got to get the schedule lined up to where we can get some big names like you up there.
Yeah, I used to fish it quite a bit.
I know.
Or maybe, I shouldn't say quite a bit, but I've definitely fished it 4 or 5 times anyway.
It's a cool tournament, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. Great cause. And,
Yeah.
Except the only thing I don't like about it is they make you cry every time you go to the thing.
Yeah. That's my once a year
Like,
crying.
like especially now that I got kids, I almost cried back when I was like a 20-some-year-old punk at those things when they bring the people in there and tell you their stories. But now that I got kids, I know I'd bawl like a little girl if I went to one of those meetings now.
Yeah, I've raced over $7 million for St. Jude in the 25-year history. Started out of Wabasha, Minnesota. Did over $875,000 for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital just this past year alone.
That is awesome. Are you still running pretty big reels for throwing a hair jig, Seth? No.
I kind of got off them, to be honest with you. I've kind of got more into these 3000s.
Meaning or reason being?
I don't know. Just smaller, and now I don't know. It seems like the braid's gotten a lot better. And just doing a lot more stuff with braid to a leader.
Yeah.
A lot lighter reel. I will say that I think the 4000 is a tougher reel, but a lot of that stemmed from throwing straight fluoro or whatever may have you, or you needed that super big reel.
Well, I know for me,
and now with the awesome little
too.
braids we got, I don't know if I really need it as much as I used to.
I was wondering if it was more of a speed thing, because I know that was one disadvantage I see to running it for. I still like all big spinning reels, but sometimes some applications I think about that with the hair jig. If you really want to slow that thing way down, it's a little tougher with a big giant arbor and a 6:2-to-1 gear ratio on a spinning reel,
Yeah, and that's why I'm running. I got Exist and the new Tatula Elite spinning reels. My moving baits, my couple hair jigs I got tied on, and my minnow shaker, I got those on 5 speeds. And then my drop shot and my tube, my bottom baits, I got those on 6.2s. I still like that 5 speed for reel and stuff with the spinning reel. More so than that 6 speed. I don't know. I have a hard time slowing it down enough to make it work for me. Because you're already going slow. God dang it.
Ethan, you got any YouTube questions from our feed over there?
Yeah, we got a bunch of them coming in. Chris is asking, Seth, if you could change or implement one rule in bass fishing, what would it be?
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
Let's start pitching for like a half hour.
Oh, I don't even know if I want to go down this road. One thing, I'd say at this point, without getting controversial, I don't like the 6 fish in the live well lose 2 pound deal or whatever it is.
Brandon Paul.
I think that's dumb.
Yeah.
Like Minnetonka, dude, back in the day on the flipping schools, dude, I probably shouldn't say this, but hell, we'd have 40 of them things in the live well. You're catching them every cast, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to whack them if they come up school and catch all your fish and then sit down and call. Like, I don't think you should drive around for hours with more fish in your live well, but and I'm sure there's some state laws in there where you can only have X amount per state or whatever, but yeah, I'd like to see that rule get changed. Just let if you got a male and a female on a bed, you gotta throw one in and catch it and not have to call out one of your fish to do it or whatever. I'd like to see that go away. I don't think you should be able to run around with 6, but just let me have them in there for 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
That was a very politically safe one. I'm very proud of you for that, because didn't think you were going to say that at all. To your point, as you started going with it, it is true. It only seems to have, at least from my recent memory, it only seems to affect people that made an honest mistake. It doesn't seem to catch any cheaters. It seems to always be people, you know what I mean? It's always just like,
I think Polinick's the only one who ever gets in trouble for it.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's a very politically safe one. Very good.
That's a good question. Seth, I noticed when we panned on the front end of your boat there, I did not see a casting rod. Is there any situation where a casting rod application would play today?
Well, actually, right where we are on Monday, it was slick calm when I was blasting them on the top water. I had that on bait caster, and then I rigged up a chatter bait just in case it got like super windy and dirty. But the water's actually clearer now than it was here on Monday. So there's definitely some applications, and there's some stuff you can. I mean, a lot of those bad fish I could catch on a bait caster, but I don't know. I've been doing that all year, so I'm kind of just in my smallmouth groove right now. Just all spinny poles on the deck.
So you would rather throw top water in slick, sunny, calm conditions than in overcast with a little bit of chop?
Absolutely. The deadest calm you can get. That's when the topwater fishing up here is the best.
Interesting.
I mean, it's light enough here right now. I could probably catch one on a topwater, but yeah, I prefer it like slick glass calm.
I think we're going to take a quick 30-second break and reset, and then bring up the lake conditions when we come back, and then dive into the second half of this 2-hour extravaganza. I think Seth is averaging about a fish every 7 minutes, which is just fantastic for a live stream. So maybe we can get a few more inches on the board.
Yeah. I haven't really got the good stuff yet.
Are you going to be able to trolling motor to it, or are you going to make a run to it?
I might just a troll over to it. It ain't too far.
Okay. All right. We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll just take a break. When we come back, Seth Feider fishing the good stuff.
Might not be today, but it was on Monday. You know how that goes.
Mille Lacs.
Omnia PRO gives you the confidence to eliminate dead water on thousands of lakes across the U.S. Exclusively through Omnia, utilize our map layers containing critical real-time satellite information to see water temperature, water clarity, and important weather data all in one place, along with 1-foot contours from Navionics and detailed CMAP social mapping. Matched with Omnia's industry-leading loyalty credit program on all your tackle and gear needs, this is the only app you need in your arsenal for success on the water.
All right, we are back. Seth Feider live on Mille Lacs. Kip, run down kind of this contest. I know you talked about it this morning with Bailey, and that there's a lot of info on it on Omnia. For the listeners, for the iTunes listeners, talk about the contest, what you're actually trying to beat, why it matters, how many inches Seth catches out here, and kind of what's at stake.
Sure. So the virtual derby is completely free to join. Anybody can participate. Free app download through Tourney X. And we're measuring your top 5 bass, smallmouth, spot, largemouth in length, in inches. The tournament runs from May 22nd to June 16th, I believe. So people have already been submitting catches for the last couple of weeks. But anybody that beats Seth, Seth is fishing one day on Mille Lacs. You're watching it right now. Anybody that beats Seth is eligible to win a prize pack through Omnia. And this is where it's kind of a no-brainer. If you are a pro member, an Omnia Pro member, your prize pack's double. So it's especially with the code we have through BTL. I think it's BTL4 Pro. BTL4 Pro. You get 40% off your Omnia Pro membership, and if you beat Seth, your prize pack's double.
What does Seth get?
It's a good question.
Seth gets to be on.
I'm just trying to save the company some money right now. That's all I'm really doing.
I mean, you have to get
like a couple hundred people are going to beat me before we're at where we're at. So yeah, that's all I'm doing is trying to just save us a few prizes.
How close are you to the juice now?
I'm getting there. I mean, we're almost in the zone. I'm just gonna ease in there.
You think smallmouth like this, when they're up shallower, as far as getting to them, are they very easily spooked? Like if you roll up to your boulder, to your area, set it down, like are you a creeper as opposed to get to the spot and make the juice cast right off the bat?
More a creeper. They're kind of even the juice. I mean, they're just swimmers, dude. They're kind of, even if they are on like some, say a boulder or something like that, they're still a lot of times where those fish are swimming, 40, 50 foot circles around that boulder. That's kind of their home base or whatever. But not quite as much like a largemouth. I mean, there's definitely times there's casts and stuff like that. Usually more around like current and stuff like that. But on these, Great Lake-esque type smallmouths, they're moving around quite a bit. They're swimmers. So, and like I caught these fish on top, and I'm kind of out on the tip of it right now. It's just a little hump, but they could easily be on one side of it or the other, top or off the edge. So I'm kind of just easing in there and try to let them tell me where they're at.
So I was actually out there this past weekend, Seth, and I was looking for them super shallow, and it honestly wasn't really a big deal. But when we did find them up shallow, it seemed as soon as they saw the boat, they were out of there. It seemed super spooky. Have you been running into that at all?
Not terribly. I haven't been up super duper shallow yet. That probably makes a huge difference on the depth with how spooky they are. But I've seen them swimming around on perspective, like, and like I said, I only got it 45 feet out. I've been fishing, mostly 4 to 12 foot today, but they seem to be not terribly spooky. Even the ones that do swim off kind of circle around and don't really go too terribly far, or they don't really take off like a bat out of hell or anything. So, and just typical curious smallmouths. They will run off a bed, but they tend to seem to want to come back and get back in that area.
Well, we're close enough, I would say there, guys. Do we got any more questions there from you over here, Ethan, on our end?
Yeah, Seth, we got a question from Dale. He's asking, why haven't you thrown a jerkbait yet today?
That is kind of more of a pre-spawn summertime deal for me. I don't think they're really on a jerkbait. I mean, you definitely could catch some fish on a jerkbait, but they're kind of in that mood where I don't really much care for a jerkbait. Once they get more post-spawn, like a little further along, like early summer, jerkbait's really good bait. And then obviously before they got on beds, that was probably the bait to throw out here. But like I said, we're spawn, early post-spawn. So I don't think they're in the right mood for it, to be honest with you.
So we've seen you roll up on a couple of those. Like I said, there's probably a lot of I know there's a lot of people watching that aren't super familiar with the hair jig. Are those fish slashing it? Are they nipping at it? Or how does a smallmouth eat a hair jig? Because it seems like you're not imparting action at all on it or anything.
No, it's just kind of a slow swimming, just real natural thing. And it varies. I mean, sometimes it just gets a little heavy, or a little light, and or sometimes you get little pecks, but you will get some pretty stout bites on it. The ones I like are like a big thunk and you lock into them. Those are usually the big ones, but sometimes you'll feel them like pecking at it like a bluegill, and I just kind of keep it going until it loads up. Okay. It kind of varies from super hard to super light, but it's you're not hitting anything. There's no vibration in this bait or anything like that. So basically anything that feels different is a fish biting it. Okay. So yeah, like I said, it's just slow, steady coming through there. Usually it's a tap. I mean, most of the time, but it will vary.
So we've been talking about hair jig pretty much this whole stream. Our next giveaway is from Daiwa, and we're actually giving away, if not the exact combo that Seth's using, a pretty darn close one. So we're going to be giving away the Chris Johnson hair jig rod with the Tatula Elite 4000. I don't think that's what you've got on there right now, Seth, but could you talk about the Tatula Elite 4000? I know Daiwa changed a few things with it.
I'd say it's probably the most impressed I've been with a spinning reel from Daiwa that isn't, exists price point or level of a reel. I don't know exactly what they come in at, but they're super comparable on weight and drag systems as well. I mean, you really won't notice much difference in them at all. The only reason I'm using those and exists is just for gear ratio. Cause I believe the Tatula Elite's only comes in the 6-speed. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's it. But
you're right.
It's super light, super smooth, got a really good drag. I mean, if you close your eyes, it feels like it exists to me. Where before, they always had really good price point spinning reels, but that one's literally like legit as good as the really high end stuff. Like I said, the only reason I'm mixing it up is just for gear ratio, but I'd have no problem with just straight fishing those, to be honest with you.
Well, that's interesting feedback for Daiwa to hear about the gear ratio thing. I've been kind of thinking about that a lot myself, but thank you to Daiwa for coming forward with that prize pack. So do we got a winner for that one?
We do. The winner for the Daiwa package is going to be Bobby Standridge.
Bobby Standridge.
Bobby.
So just like before, Bobby will be reaching out to you via email and get this Daiwa rod and reel sent over to you. To touch again on the Tatula Elite, Pete. So the story was behind that reel was smaller body with a bigger arc.
Yeah, it was something the LT family offered over the newer monocoque bodied reels, which is a solid one-piece frame reel. The LT reels were carbon bodies, but they were much smaller bodies compared to the MQ reels. Now, there's two schools of thought to that. The bigger gears, the much larger gears in those MQ reels is a real selling feature because it's durability, it's longevity, smoothness, all that remains when you upscale the material there. The LT was really to drive down the weight, and that's kind of where that was going away. We'd gone, the Daiwa had gone with that monocoque technology, and now they're coming back with that LT just to bring the weights back down. To Seth's point, those Elite reels are $300 reels, and they're running lighter than some of the $500, $600 reels that are out there, and about the same exact weights as the $800,000 spinning reels on the super high end. I mean, they're lighter than all the high end Shimano and Daiwa spinning reels out there for $300. So if you're a weight junkie, go out there and take a look at that one. If you like bougie spinning reels, this one's not cheap by any means, but it's certainly not in those crazy price points we're seeing now. Like bass boats and spinning reels getting up to hundreds of thousands of dollars and thousands of dollars.
And it looks cool. All blacked out.
It does. It looks really cool. Yeah,
how many spinning rod combos does a guy who doesn't live up north but is going to go fish up north need? Like, what's a good number to have?
That's a good question.
I'd say 3. 3 will get you by.
So if you had to,
bare minimum, I'd say on an average day smallmouth fishing, I probably got like 6 on the deck, but a lot of those are like doubles and stuff because you're dealing with light line and spinning rods. You know, you get a big wind knot or break a bait off or something, I can grab that. But yeah, 3 will get you. 3 will get you through anything.
What do you think the 3 setups, baits wise, technique wise, you'd need to have on your way up north?
I'd do like a long cast one, like a set. Probably if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick like my hair jig rod, 7.6, and then Chris Johnson's Ned rig rod, that's 7.1. That's a little bit more meatier rod, but like great for tube fishing, Ned rigs.
Oh, there's no way that there's just a cruel punishment that the juice also has bad service. He'll be back in a second.
Would I lose you again?
No, we're
Yeah,
back.
for a second,
We just got through the Chris Johnson 7-1.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good rod for Ned rig and tube stuff like that, bottom contact stuff. And then I guess if you want to like maybe like something like that 610 BLX, I got like a real light rod. If you do get in a scenario where you're start getting into that 6-pound test, tiny bait, little hook deal. But honestly, that my 7.6 hair jig rod and Chris Johnson's 7.1 Ned rig rod, those are probably really the only two you'd need. And then the other stuff, a little more specialist, real fine nitty gritty. But those two will get you through about anything smallmouth fishing.
Gotcha.
Do you leave once you spool up for a season on your braid, that's the braid on that reel for the rest of the year? Or do you ever change your actual braid?
Sometimes I will, just if I need a different size on a different reel, but not for anything else. I mean, some of these reels that one right there's that's probably 2, maybe 3 seasons on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, braid don't go bad. So, I basically, if I get to a point where I'm hitting my knot or whatever, I can't cast any further, then I'll switch. But usually if I'm respooling a spinning reel, it's because I got 8 on it and I want to put 6 on it, or vice versa.
Yeah.
It's also the first Wednesday of the month here in
So
it's we apologize for the sirens.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting them here too.
Yeah. So Matt Pangrack should be more familiar with that than anybody. Tornado sirens.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but when he hears them, they actually mean something. We just hear them on the first Wednesday or the first whatever of the month. Yeah. When he hears them, it probably means go hide somewhere.
It's been a rodeo this spring in Oklahoma.
Has it?
Oh, it's just every single night. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's absolutely crazy. Another braid question, we can put that one to bed. Willie wants to know about the braid color. How important is that? What color do you use and why?
I don't think it much matters if you're running a leader. Whatever you're into. I got like lime green on all my stuff now, just so I can see it good. But I mean, whatever floats your boat. So you want something you can see for sure. But whether it's pink, orange, red, chartreuse, blue, white, it don't matter. As long as you can see it good, that's all that really matters.
I recently took on trying all black braid directly tied to my bait to see if John Cox was up to something sneaky. And I'll have to say, so far, in less than 4 feet of water, it's been working just fine. So I think John Cox is onto something there.
Seth, we had another question come in. Sean wants to know, what fights harder, Tennessee River smallmouth or northern smallmouth?
Northern smallmouth for sure. I mean, maybe the ones below Pickwick Dam scrap. I don't know. I got no experience with them. But honestly, dude, like a 3.5 pound northern strain smallmouth is the meanest thing you can hook. Like the 5 and 6 pounders are way easier to get them or tire out, I should say. I don't know. Them 3.5s just seem to never want to quit. You're like just big enough where you can't horse them without breaking your stuff and boat flip them. So they're really just a pain in the butt. But I'm sure those ones below the Pickwick Dam probably pull pretty good. They're doing a lot of current battling.
So give me some thoughts on your strategies here to close this out. Time's becoming a factor. Winds, obviously, I would say the biggest factor of the day. It's pretty nice out now.
I didn't think I was going to be able to, but clearly that's not working out so well. I don't know. Maybe this was a big waste of time. I could definitely got a couple big ones on the main lake I got to go take another look at. And then Brad's really wanting me to go in Cove Bay because he was there on Wednesday and he caught them. So that's where we got to go.
We're live.
I mean, it's manageable. I can fish wherever, but I'll probably stay up here till the stream's over and then then I think we're gonna make a pretty long run back down to the bottom end of the lake and try to get a couple big calls. I'm kind of a little disappointed what's going on up here now. This was pretty good a couple days ago, but that's typical smallmouth for you. The water was quite a bit dirtier. That's the other thing I've noticed. Another spot where I had them like wadded up on the west side where I could just kind of whack them, every other cast or every couple casts. It was super dirty. You couldn't see the bottom in 4 feet. And I went there today and it was gin clear. And I thought they had left, but I saw them swimming around on the perspective, and we ended up catching a few over there, but definitely not as good. I think that dirty water was helping the bite, and that's probably what's going on up here as well.
You think a lot of that dirty water's gotten pushed over to the east side of the lake?
Probably something with the wind. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of dirty water running in from the little rivers, and then like the shallow bays kind of seem to start getting a little algae bloom going. So like the clearest water I was finding was as far as I could get offshore, but now between the west side and the north side I've been pretty tight to the bank, obviously, and it's been fairly clear up here. So I don't know if the winds kind of just moved some things around or what's going on, but that's kind of just how this lake is, though. That dirty water and clear water always kind of getting blown around into different areas. So
Do those fish get neutral or go to the bottom, or do you think they actually swim away from the dirty water?
no, I think they like the dirty water here, especially right now this time of year. Yeah, and when I'm saying dirty, it's still like 3-4 foot visibility. It's just not where you can see the bottom in 12 feet of water. You know what I mean? It's not Oklahoma dirty. Just Mille Lacs dirty.
Yeah.
I just think they're easier to catch than that,
More
These
aggressive.
fish are getting, these fish are getting a lot of pressure right now. Like we were talking about earlier, this is kind of the 2-week period where everybody shows up at Mille Lacs, and then the rest of the year it's pretty quiet out here.
How has Mille Lacs changed since 2016 when you won the Angler of the Year tournament out there?
It's a lot. Like 2015, 2016, those were probably the best years on Mille Lacs as far as numbers and big ones went. And then it seemed like we got a ton of added pressure right after that tournament. And then it seemed to have got really tough. And then I don't know, like I don't think the fish have like gone anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously that big size class of them's gone, but starting to see some big ones again, and or year class, I should say. But I think they got kind of shocked going from like unfished to getting absolutely hammered on. So like those first couple 2-3 years right after the tournament, maybe 17, 18, 19 were probably the toughest years on Mille Lacs. And then it seems like the last 2-3 years the fishing's gotten better, but I think that's just because they're getting more accustomed to the fishing pressure, where I think it was a real shock to them, where they went from, dang near being unfished to, getting everybody from Texas and Missouri and Florida up here after them for a couple of years. So I think that's kind of balanced out now. They're used to it. And the fishing's been better the last few years than it has the few years prior to it.
Do you know the biggest bag you've caught out of Mille Lacs?
I don't know if I've had 32. I know I've had 31 and a couple 30s, but that was in its heyday, and those were all on A-rigs in the fall. The biggest bag I've caught, not A-riggins, probably, I don't know, 27, 28 pounds.
Gotcha.
If
So,
that.
since we're talking about great fishing, how do you think the live stream would go if we did this with Wheeler and Smith in a couple weeks here?
Well, I'd just be sitting under a bridge at Wheeler drinking Pedialyte, hiding in the shade. That's all I'm gonna do there. We might have us one here, boys.
Really?
I mean, he got it on the fall. That's usually a good sign. The head shakes feel pretty nice. He's not doing anything too crazy. It's a bass.
That's head shakes to it. Pretty serious.
Let's see.
Cigarette
Decent
pointer
for
looking
sure.
good.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's. Yeah, he looks pretty long to me. Oh yeah, yeah. We got us one here, boys.
Yeah.
We got us one.
Leaderboard updates.
We got us one here. Stay on. Oh, that jig is in a bad spot.
So, boys, let me know what does a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch give him? Where's it? Is he moving up with that?
This is all of that and then some. This is one of them.
Put him in 6.
If I can get him in the boat. This is one of them, boys. Come on. There we go.
There it is.
There it is. That looks like a real one.
Oh yeah. It's a long one. He don't weigh nothing. He ain't nothing but a 4 1/4, but this sucker might be 20 inches long.
That's gonna do some damage.
Does that count? Is that 20?
Mouth closed.
Yeah.
Looks like it to me.
It says touching 20. The mouth's closed. I think you got
Yeah,
it, bud.
we're good. Got a pick? Okay, 20 incher, big call.
That's,
Like I said, he don't weigh much. They're thin right now, you know.
A 1/3.
He got done spawning. That fish will weigh 5 pounds here in a month or so, but pretty one.
Oh, that should get you at 100 inches, bud.
I think we need one more.
Do you?
Yeah, like I said, I got 2 18s. That'll call an 18.
this is
That give
gonna
me an
take
inch
a
and
minute to
inch and a
update,
half
but,
right there.
That's a 1.5 inch upgrade.
Yeah, because you're 100.
Yeah, that's 100.
No shit. Oops,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
Well,
right at it.
let me get one more.
Then it
good
jumps
one.
you
Get
up
rid of
into
that 18
fifth.
3/4. Uh-oh. Well, at least we know the guy in Florida is going to win. We're not catching him.
This
But
will mean one person in the northern region has a better bag than you, and it's by a 1/4 inch.
Okay. And that's
I
our
kinda-
Wisconsin guy?
yeah, I gave away a 1/4 inch on the first one too, I think.
Yeah.
We still got an 18 3/4 in there. That'll be easy call or doable call. There's lots of 19, 20 inch fish in this lake.
All right. So that was a hair jig fish. So that was the first
That was.
non-bed 20 incher, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
Who knows though? I mean, this time of year, you just never. That could have been a bed fish. We'll never know, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was. But one
Have you
doesn't
ever
let
seen
know.
one swim off a bed and go eat a hair jig swim by?
Oh yeah, well he got it on the fall, dude. I could have just landed on his bed and he swam 4 foot up off the bottom and caught it on the way
Yeah.
down. You know,
Yeah, I do that
they
on
do
purpose
that all the
time.
time.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I'm not saying it was on purpose, just might have happened. But I don't think that one was spawning. But I don't know. I mean, they'll eat topwaters on the beds. You know,
Yeah.
they're special in a good way. They'll hit a spinnerbait 6 feet to the side of their bed. They don't like nothing around them. Boy, it is getting kind of top waterish. If I get another 20 and we crack a nice bag, I might just throw top water the rest of the time just for visual, just for fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just watch them miss it.
You need
Yeah,
another. Yeah. One more big
Feel,
one.
feel free to do that in the next 44 minutes as well. I mean, I don't think you'll
Okay.
have
All right, well,
complaining
hey,
about
well-
that. Seth.
We'll try it right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
heck
Actually,
yeah.
I'll go up a little bit further. There's a little high
right.
spot I can see up there. We'll go throw a popper up there.
Just
and
all
see what
classic
happens.
bass anglers. Catches a 20 incher and then we talk him out of throwing
Talk
it.
him out of
Yeah,
winning.
Oh, yeah. Let's just go throw a top water now. I just want to
It's
see
fun,
one.
but- oh yeah, they miss it a lot, so you'll get to see them hit it about 3 times probably.
So for the anglers that managed to beat Seth in the virtual derby, non-pro members are going to get Omnia t-shirt, a mystery lure, and a sample pack of VMC hooks with their next Omnia order. If you are a pro member, you get that same pack with a $20 Omnia gift card thrown in as well. Anybody that ends up beating Seth is going to get a prize pack.
Awesome. I am sure, and I'll make the call too, that we're going to do some honorable mentions to some good bags that are in there. So if he does beat everybody, you know, Mosery, obviously, we think Mr. John up there in Florida is doing pretty good. He's going to be all right. But
Yeah, well, we could do like top 20 or something.
yeah, there's going to be definitely some prizes that go out to all you participants that jumped on this and supported it and put
All
up.
right, get that Zoom ready.
But there's 2 regions also. I'm looking at this thing, right? So like
Yeah,
Florida, Texas, Oklahoma,
Yeah.
Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and California are all competing against each other, and then the rest of the country.
Yep, you got it.
And that's for the
Right.
$1,000 gift card for each winner of each division, and then that's a $2,000 gift card if you're an Omnia Pro member. Which, if you use the 40% discount, is what, like it's like $30, less than that.
So I don't know
Alright.
if John is listening.
This is for you, Panger.
All right, we got you.
We got
Right here.
some zoom on that camera. So what?
All right. Well, yeah, that's to your
Trying
point.
to get
Though.
you a top water bike. 'Cause it's getting pretty top waterish out.
Yeah, John, if you are listening, I would go buy Pro.
He's currently not. And
Is that a popper?
Yeah,
What?
fishing like peacock bass fishing. I'll slow it down when he comes up on it, but I ain't gonna waste any time till.
So
then.
you're literally using it's not a walk. You're using a bait to
No,
really draw
I'm
them
just-
from
yeah.
as far away as possible. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, they'll hit it 2-3 times. Once the one comes up on it, then I'll get subtle and start doing little stuff. But I just want one to swirl on it, and then I'll slow her down, you know.
And you can pick the hair back up.
what's the popper of choice, Seth? Can you talk about that?
It's Arashi cover pop.
Okay.
What are you throwing on it for? Set up for that rod, reel, and line.
Okay, this is a 7-foot medium Rebellion glass rod. I got a Tatula CT, or is that what they're called? The small one? No, 80, sorry.
Yeah.
Tatula 80, 30-pound braid, 14-pound mono leader.
Gotcha.
But there's a lot of times you fire it out there, you pop it one time, and the thing just flushes it. Like they were popping bugs the other day. And a lot of times I'd land my bait like where they swirled on a fish fly or whatever it was they were eating, and like it just hit in the water, and boom, they get it. So.
Is there a certain water temperature range that you're looking for specifically on Mille Lacs?
There is. We're a little below it. I don't know what happened to this water temp up here. Maybe with the wind blowing around. This was like 68 when I was up here. I really like mid to upper 60s to start throwing it, and then obviously 70s are good after that. But yeah, that mid to upper 60s is what I really like. But for some reason, this has gone back down to 63 degrees since I was here last. So sorry, I tried, boys.
I appreciate that.
by now if it was
Heart
it was a
stopping
deal. If I
action.
see
It's
one
good camera
slurp 'em-
work though.
Yeah.
yeah, if I see one slurp a bug, I will sling her over there. I promise you. But that's another thing. You don't really see that unless it's glass com. It's just such a subtle bite. It's not like one blowing up on a shad or anything like that. It's just the smallest little ripple. You wouldn't even think a 4 or 5 pound bass could make such a small little ripple, and you throw it over there and catch them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just swimming up, and it's like a trout bite, just slurping a little bug right under the surface.
The last time I was there, the hot bait doing that was a skitter pop. We had to go out and
Yeah.
buy them. We didn't have the old skitter pop in the arsenal, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
locals got us on the skitter pop bite.
Yeah. Oh boy. We might have us another big one.
Really?
I think I lied. He's decent. I just don't think he can get around here. don't think he's gonna help. It's a nice one though. Yeah, I don't think. What do we need? Yeah.
Need to beat a 18 3/4.
Nice. 18 incher.
Have we updated now? We have.
Yeah.
All right, up to 5th there. So back to that hot topic of Alabama. What do you think? What are you envisioning being the things that play on Wheeler and on Smith so far?
I'm sure Wheeler's going to be your, I don't want to say typical, but I think it's going to be a ledge tournament. They had an open there. Oh, Panger, you probably fished it. Well, yeah, you did because you got into it with Milliken or something. Sorry, I'm going to bring that up. But yeah, I think it'll be a ledge tournament. It's that time of the year. The fish are going to be getting offshore. I think there will be some kind of a shallow bite. It's probably going to get one on those ledges, I would assume. I know the ledges on that like fish a lot shallower than, some other parts of like a Pickwick or a Kentucky Lake or something like that. So you might see a little bit different tactics. Maybe a little more cranking or even square billing and top water. And
so some old school techniques you think could come out and play there?
Possibly. I just know a lot of those like they'll be shallow enough to pink worm on a drop shot or shaking a minnow or on a glide bait or whatever. I don't know, but they're shallow enough where I think you can do some stuff like that. And then Smith, I really don't have. I mean, I'm assuming it's just going to be spots chasing bait out in the middle of the lake. Probably going to be a top water fluke, jig and a minnow type deal.
Okay.
Not for sure though, but I'm hoping they're getting as much rain as we're getting at home because it seems to rain like 2 inches every night when I go to bed. So maybe it'll get all flooded out and we go flip bushes. That'd be my ideal scenario, but I'm assuming I would assume Smith's going to be like a straight scope derby, deep trees, points, stuff like that, spotted bass, and then I believe Wheeler will go down on the ledges. But
no, I know for myself when I look at Mille Lacs and I do any pre-work to say what I'm going to do when I go up there, wind's usually my biggest factor, and depending on the time of year, temp would be probably number 2 for me, right? Depending on the time of year where I'm going, and then it'd be probably water clarity. When you look at the completely different type of fishery like a Wheeler, what sort of prep would you look at for a pro user, like the things we offer with that kind of stuff? How do you rank that stuff, and how do you look at that and prepare for it? Does water clarity play a big issue, or just temp out the window now?
Yeah, temp's out the window. I mean, in my opinion, once you get past the spawn, all phases of it, I think temp goes out the window. Oh dang it, just missed one. I think temp goes out the window. I'm sure the water temp there is going to be high 70s to mid 80s. I'm not sure how hot it's been there, but plenty warm. So I think temp kind of goes out the window there. Water clarity could be an issue if they've had as much rain as most of the country's gotten. So that could be something to factor in.
Okay.
But yeah, I would think water temp is pretty well done. Shouldn't
Does wind play a big factor on those on a ledge fishery?
I don't think we'll have a breath of wind. I mean, I don't know. Every time I go down south after May, it's like just glass calm every day, all day long, hotter than you want it, and like that just seems like June down south. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the wind will blow. I would think the wind would help for sure. I think it definitely would help on Smith, but I don't know for sure. I've never really been on either one of those lakes that late in the year.
Mm-hmm.
But Smith's clear. I mean, any place that's clear, wind's going to help.
Gotcha.
Unless they're spawning.
Ethan, it might be a good time for a couple more viewer questions. We have a couple teed up.
Yeah, we had a question come in. Seth, what is your favorite pool of the Mississippi River to fish?
Oh, that's a great question. God, the little one did it. They did a little construction on pool 2. I would have probably said 10 years ago that pool 2 was my absolute favorite pool to fish. I'd say probably, I think pool 5 has the biggest fish in the whole system. Little tiny guy, don't get excited. I think 5's got the biggest fish in it. 7, 8, and 9 used to be crazy, but they've just gotten, in the last 10 years, there's been so many 200 boat tournaments, regionals, high schools, college opens, whatever, there, that it's just not, it's still good, but it's just those days like putting your poles down and catching 60 on a frog in one spot, those are done. That might be like 5 bites now. I'd say 4's probably got one of the best populations of fish in it, but for some reason 5 just, I don't know, that's probably my favorite one. I think it's got the biggest fish in that region. And then once you get down past like 9 and 10, the river gets really kind of tough fishing again. But anywhere in that 2 to 9 is probably the best water. I'd say 5 is probably my favorite pool, but
gotcha. Well, Panger, you spent enough time there now. What's your favorite pool?
No, whichever one Bart takes me to.
You went out of 4 or 5 this year?
Both. I thought 5 was more, to me, like intimidating to run some of the stuff in there, like River Ratty, as far as to get back into some areas.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the guys like who know how to run 5 can pretty much get back and call their shot.
Yeah. Coming at you.
Not gonna help. Just a nice one. Oh, got a buddy. About the same size. This water's cleaned up a lot since I was here. It's nice 3-something.
How many friends you got around you there? Are they fishing or just watching?
No, they're fishing. There's a few. I mean, there was like nobody here, but I think when that wind slicked, a bunch of guys ran up here. There's 1, 2, 3. There's probably 6, 7 boats around here.
Matt, I don't know how much you want to share about this, but can you tell us about how you and Adam got him on the St. Jude?
Yeah, there was we caught some spawning largemouth. We caught a couple random big smallmouth, but the majority were smallmouth that had just pulled up to spawn. Gotcha. And it was just like, I mean, we won on like the couple random fish where it was like, oh my gosh, there's one, but the majority were largemouth and smallmouth that had just pulled up on beds.
Yes.
Are you fishing them on perspective, or could you actually see them?
We think we were able to see 3 or 4 of them. I'd say over half of them were on perspective, and then a couple were like we couldn't see them. We had the bed marked, and it was like just pouring buckets on the first day. And those fish are so aggressive that like if you could just pitch over around there, like they were not shy.
Okay. Nice.
But I think we did 6. It's a 6 fish limit. I think we did 8 smallmouth and 4 largemouth.
That's a good mix.
I love the northern strain largies, though. They're so cool. Is that a thing here still, Seth? Like, I mean, I remember a couple years ago, it was like you could go up in the reeds and everyone talked about the Mille Lacs largemouth.
Well, I think what happened, they jacked the lake. I think there was a slough that was connected to the lake. Well, it still is, but I think, believe it or not, a lot of our largemouths were kind of bouncing back between that lake and Mille Lacs itself. I mean, it's just a duck slough, just a big, shallow mud bottom cattail slough. I mean, there's maybe a couple little holes of water in it, but most of it was super shallow. And yeah, I mean, we'd still catch the big ones in Mille Lacs. We weren't going back in there. I mean, some guys were going back in there and catching them, but they built like a dam across there. It's like where the river runs out. And ever since they did that, the largemouth fishing's kind of sucked. So I'm wondering if, you know, maybe a lot of those largemouths were kind of using both the lakes and kind of bouncing back and forth. And then when they built that dam, they might have got locked in there. And I don't know, they might die off there in the winter with how shallow it is. So I don't know if that's something that happened to them or what the deal is. Or, you know, we did, like I said, right after that tournament in 16, we got a ton of pressure. And then, you know, guys were coming up here in the summer and we're kind of struggling with catching the smallies, or say you got a real windy day or something like that. And then I think a lot of those largemouths started getting fished quite a bit more. So maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe it was that dam. I don't know, but something happened to it. But from the sounds of it, I've heard pretty good reports this spring on the largemouths in Mille Lacs. So maybe they're coming back as well. I don't know. I haven't not messed with them at all in quite some time. But yeah, it used to be phenomenal.
Have you reconsidered becoming a guide up there?
I mean, I'm just not that guy. I'm a terrible guide. Like, I'm just not him. I don't got the personality for it, or the patience, or I don't know what it is, but I'm a terrible guide. So, I mean, if times are tough and we got to do it, we'll do it. But I'd prefer not to. I think I'm bad at it, to be honest with you.
We do got to shout out our buddy Josh Douglas is out there today.
He's
talking about
built
the personality for it. He's awesome at it. If you want to get up to Mille Lacs and check it out, you should reach out to Josh Douglas. He's really good out there. And we have Trevor Lowe out there guiding now too. Almost forgot about that. A former Omnia fishing employee, still does some work with us here, but he's up there guiding as well.
All right, Ethan, we want to do one more question here and then take a little break.
It's getting so nice out.
Let's do it. Seth, we had a viewer ask your opinion on a straight shank flipping hook over a ringed hook. What do you prefer?
Oh.
Situational. For me, if I'm legit punching, it's a straight shank. I've messed around with a lot of them, kind of had mixed results, but I've actually really starting to like that red line 3-aught straight shank from VMC. That one's been really good to me. But basically, 3/4 ounce and less, I'm going extra wide gap ringed. Ounce plus, I'm going straight shank. That's just kind of how I keep it simple.
Can you get VMC to make ringed DWG in the red line series?
Extra wide gap ring?
Yeah.
In the red line? I believe that's coming.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't. Every good hook they've had before that they've made in red lines gotten awesome. So I could see, I mean, pretty much everything going to that at some point, minus, you know, some price point stuff for people that don't want to spend a little more on a hook. But even like the Nico hooks and all that stuff, they were already good. And then going to the red line just stiffened them up and made them sharper. And it's made every hook they've done it to better. So, I don't see why they wouldn't. I'm sure they're just kind of introducing a few models every year or whatever.
I know you've talked about this at length before. People ask it all the time, but why do you prefer a ring DWG hook over just a standard DWG?
Essentially, end of the day, it's just hooking percentage. I had a better hooking percentage with that than any other hook I've used. And that's all personal too, you know. I mean, what works for me might not necessarily. Look at the size of that rock. Can you get a shot of that? I mean, I don't even know if we can do it justice on the phone.
we can see it. It's a big
That
rock.
thing is about the size of my boat. Surprised there wasn't anything sitting on it. But yeah, for me, it was just landing percentage. I lost less bass when I did it, when I went to that hook. And I'm sure maybe you get a little more action, or I don't know. There's definitely some wiggle to it, but yeah, for me, just straight landing percentage numbers is the deal for me on that thing.
Yeah, it's not a fish-friendly hook. I mean, you have to dig it out of their heads. But
Yeah, no,
I feel the exact same way Seth does. It's all about landing percentage. That
yeah.
if you hook them with that hook, you own them. And you got to do surgery sometimes to get the hook out. But
I
Yeah,
like how easily it gets in and out of grass. I feel
Yeah.
like the weight is always, I don't know how to describe it. I feel like the weight's always leading.
yeah,
yeah, that is another thing to it. Like, especially when you're like skipping or pitching hard or whatever, you know, your knot gets to the side with a pegged weight. You know, it looks kind of funky. That thing's always going to be straight streamline going down.
What is your what's your max out here? Like, what's a long one? Are we talking, is 22 inches a possibility?
It is a possibility. The biggest one I ever caught on this lake was, I didn't have a scale on the boat, so we had not a clue what it weighed. I did measure one here that was 22 and a half. But the biggest one I've ever thrown on the scale, which was 7.2, was 21 and a half inches long. But that was in the fall, you know, that's like as fat as they're going to get scenario. But yeah, I mean, there's a 22 incher in this lake, no doubt.
What are the forages they're keying in on? I've heard some controversial takes on people feel different ways about what they're actually feeding on in Mille Lacs in there.
It's a crawdad lake, no doubt. I've seen 2 or 3 fish puke anything up today, and it was all crawdads. I mean, a couple of those were bedfish, so I mean, they're just sitting there, old Diddy walked through the bed and died. But obviously we get bug hatches up here. They'll definitely switch over hard to a bug when it's, you know, plentiful, when it's hatching. And then, you know, in the fall is the only time I ever see them. Like late summer, fall is the only time I ever see them puking up fish. You know, whether that's tullibee, shiners, perch. Uh-oh.
Muskies?
I think we got us one. But yeah, I would say 90% of their diet's crawfish.
Gobies have to play a decent sized role in that too, yeah.
Not on Mille Lacs.
No gobies in Mille Lacs.
I snagged one on my
Sculpin.
Oh.
Yeah, there is sculpin in here, but I think the population of those things is so low.
So every year, just so you know, there's people who do exactly that. They post and they're like, "Oh, there's gobies in here," and it's a sculpin.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a main one, boys.
And Seth had an interesting take on that too, that he didn't think that even the Great Lakes fish were feeding on those gobies the way people think. They just don't seem to cough them up that much. You know?
I think where they really get hard on the gobies is wintertime. Like when they're, you know, late winter, early spring, when they're real inactive, not moving around a whole lot. That goby's just such an easy meal for them. But I know for a fact they will swim by 100 gobies to eat a crawdad. No doubt about it. That one might help, boys. Oh, yeah.
What we got?
We're 19 and a half.
Whoa. What does that do for us?
It's gonna push him to 4.
All right, so he's king of the north again.
Good. Okay. 19 and a half, or probably just a 4-pounder. Pretty thin.
Post spawner.
Yeah. At least you can fish up here. That's what I like about the north end right now. Like you can just wheel around and cast. You don't got to throw it a bed. Like they're far enough along over here that you can just fish them.
Yeah, you need a 19 3/4 now. Am I right there? The 18 3/4 is gone with a 19.5. So he's got a 19.5, a 19 3/4, a 20-incher, a 20.5, and a 21.
Yep, that moves him into the third. I don't know if he's able to get any higher than that.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, you got to max out at some point here.
Yeah, we're getting close. I do believe I have one on a bed out in the middle of the lake that I can call with. I think he might be a 20+ inch fish, but yeah, we're getting.
But you might need it though,
bud,
because this whole derby isn't over. We got more people that'll be fishing and throwing some more numbers up there. You're gonna motivate.
Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna fall after today, no doubt. There's a lot of guys that are in that kind of range I'm in right now that got, an 18-inch or something in there, and they got, a week or 10 days to go catch 120-incher and beat me. You know what I mean?
Now, if you happen to like catch a giant in the elite, like, can you bring the bump board with you in Elite Series competition and enter this on Tourney X? I mean, the rest everyone else.
No, we're gonna shut her down at 3:00 today. So
okay,
whatever we got at 3:00, we got, and I kind of wanted it that way. So that way, if somebody was inch or 2 inches or in striking
they
distance,
knew what they had,
whatever I got, they know that heck, we got to go fishing. We got to go catch a couple more.
Mm-hmm. The Rapala.
Yeah, so we've got one more giveaway here. The last brand partner we've got is Rapala. Pete, do you want to touch on what we're giving away?
Yeah.
Here?
So thanks to our friends over there at Rapala, obviously one of Seth's big supporting partners. They donated a full wrap stack box set. So those are those gray boxes with a single red latch in the front. Really nice boxes, actually. A lot of people that work here are fans of those. A whole set of those, so you get all the different sizes. Suffix 832 and some Suffix advanced fluorocarbon, some red line hooks, Maverick jerk baits, crossover pliers, and rings. So that's one heck of a little setup there from the folks over there at Rapala. Ethan, can you tell us who won?
I sure can. It looks like our final winner today is going to be Jackie Ow.
Jackie Ow.
Ow.
And one other thing we should mention is that we do have some giveaways going on just for people that like the stream and leave a comment. So we might announce those within the next day or two. Okay, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, there will be some more random prizes given away for sure. So feel free to keep the comments coming. Even if we haven't read them out now, we will be looking at all of them.
So I know we've got a handful of Omnia branded Seth Feider signed hats that we're giving away. So like the stream, leave a comment. We might just be reaching out to you in the next day or two.
Seth, I've gotten a few messages about the sharp rain suit that you're wearing today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That old thing.
Any details on where a person could get something like that?
It's just some sim stuff that's coming out here. I guess that's summer of 25. I don't know when that releases, if that's spring of 25 or winter of 24, 25. I don't know when they release the stuff, but that is just had one pop it.
Pretty sharp.
Yeah, I like the colorway. It's pretty slick. My style.
Where is it going to fall in their line of offerings? Are we talking
that's
Pro
a Pro Dry. It's a Pro Dry suit.
Gotcha.
Just a new color for next year.
We are getting questions about people buying your cigarette pointer on the front of the trolling motor there.
Yeah. Let me look it up. Because I'd hate to get this wrong.
Well,
I know who makes it, but I don't want to misquote it.
well, the question is can we carry them here at Omnia Fishing? So
Absolutely, we can. Let me get on Instagram here and make sure I get this right. I want to say it's C and S, but I don't want to misquote for the viewers. Yeah, CS Pro Solutions.
CS Pro Solutions.
Yeah, they make pointers for all of them. Minn Kota, Garmin, Lowrance, obviously Power Pole. That's who makes them, but
Oh, he did?
get a hold of them. They're good kids. The kid was my marshal, like my first year on the Elite Series. Drew him at the St. John's, had actually a really awesome day with him. Caught like a 6-something on a frog in like the last 15 minutes of the day. It was fun. We've just been buds ever since. So
That's
he
cool.
started
Right
that
there.
little deal and made me want to all dart it up and sent it to me, and I've been liking it.
That's cool. We did. Ethan just let us know we have a comment from the overall weight leader or length leader of the tournament.
Oh no, is he bumping them gums?
I don't know, Seth, but John has commented that he's going to be out again tomorrow. I think he wants to
Step on this
drastically increase his lead over you, is what it
The
sounds
guy
like.
that's got like 107 or 8 or
thing.
whatever.
108. Yeah, he's doing
Yeah,
good.
well,
Now,
he can
we-
sleep in. He'll be fine.
Well-
We need a limit of 22 inches to beat him. That ain't happening.
Mhm. Well, he's looking pretty good though.
Yeah, no, that's strong. I mean, anything upper 90s, that's a pretty dang good bag of fish.
Good. Oh yeah, you ain't kidding.
You think that smallmouth bag is beatable? So will someone have 5 smallmouth that are more than that inches? I mean, dude, like you're
Yeah, I mean, with the time constraints they have, I mean, 105 is 103, 105 is pretty doable on smallmouth, I think.
Is it?
Wow.
Where at?
I think so. I mean,
Where at?
they start growing out. I see what Pete's doing.
I think you could do it on Mille Lacs in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
You know what I mean? Well, just if you spent 2 weeks on Mille Lacs, I think you could do it.
Oh, if you spent 2
Oh,
weeks
yeah,
fishing Mille Lacs, you'd have
Yeah.
5 22 inchers over those 14 days.
There's places. Hell, I think your little river hole you could do it at.
You think so?
Yeah.
I might have to take next week off.
No, I think it'd take more than a day. It'd be
You're
pretty
never
hard to do
never
that in a
home
day.
anyway, Pete. You're always gallivanting about the country.
Seems
Yeah.
like it. Feels like it.
He's got meetings. Okay,
I just
that
booked-
wind is officially starting to blow.
Yeah.
Dang it. I should have went and got that main Laker before this happened, but whatever.
Booked ICAST tickets today.
Did you?
Yep.
You Tuesday evening and Thursday night?
You got it.
What flyway?
What flyway?
Sorry, you know what I mean. What airlines?
I'm a Delta man. You know that.
Okay, yeah, we might be on the same flight though.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of the only way to go, really.
Mhm.
Everything else is kind of a gamble.
Do we want to take a final break and wrap it up
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do
here
it.
and come back to it? I know we dude, you caught like 10 fish while we've been live. That's been super cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're gonna run one final, just a 30-second, get things together, and then do a daily wrap up while you're off to catch a 22 incher off a boulder.
You should just
Yeah.
run to that 22 and
Yeah,
try and
is
catch it here.
Is that possible? Can we just keep the stream running? If it,
I mean,
if
it's
it
only
dies, it
like-
dies.
It's only 15 miles away.
What are you guys like? I mean, if you start now, we'll run a 30-second. You can get everything strapped down. We'll roll with it, and if we lose you, we lose you, and if not,
Yeah,
I'm game for it.
Let's play hero ball.
Okay.
All right.
All
All
right.
right, get everything strapped down. All right, we're gonna take just a final little 30-second, just a pro commercial break. and
It's
then
going to
come
take
back.
us like 20 minutes to get down there. You know that, right?
Yeah, well, we still have 10 minutes left before 2 o'clock, so it really would only be like 10 minutes of overtime.
Okay. Well, I still got to catch it then and whatnot. But yeah.
Dude, you're Seth Feider.
Well,
Yeah, dude.
I already spent like 10 minutes on it this morning and didn't catch it.
Did you? Do you know it was there?
No, Brad looked through the flogger, said he didn't see nothing.
Oh, yeah, you're kind of committed now. The
I have a hard
feedback
time
is
believing
blowing up. Everyone wants you to do it.
Yeah,
Dan, Sean,
All
Willie, now you're committed.
All right.
All right, we'll take our final little break, and then we come back. Wrap things up as Seth Feider travels across a bumpy Mille Lacs Lake in quest of a 22-inch smallmouth bass. He knows where it is. He knows how long it'll take to get him. Will he be able to get it to wrap up the Beat Seth Feider
They
Derby
want us
for
to go
Omnia?
catch the spawner at the other end of the lake.
We'll be right back.
See you, bud.
Omnia PRO gives you the confidence to eliminate dead water on thousands of lakes across the U.S. Exclusively through Omnia, utilize our map layers containing critical real-time satellite information to see water temperature, water clarity, and important weather data all in one place, along with 1-foot contours for navionics and detailed CMAP social mapping. Matched with Omnia's industry-leading loyalty credit program on all your tackle and gear needs, this is the only app you need in your arsenal for success on the water.
Longer to get over there.
All right, we are back. I'm going to mute Seth's mic while they run here, wrapping things up. So Seth has taken the biggest smallmouth bag so far in the Tourney X event, and he has a big one on a bed that he's been trying to catch, and now he's traveling. I think we're going to get to see a little bit of the bumpy. If we lose him, we lose him. If not, we're going to get to see it, a hero shot, looking for a big finish. We'll see. Oh, no, the audio's perfect still.
Oh, wow.
He's rolling. Let's just enjoy it. I'll be right back in 2 minutes, Kip, but we're just going to roll with it.
In the meantime, while we're running down the lake here, we've got a handful of gift cards that we can give away, Ethan. Not sure the question to ask, but leave a comment in the comment section. It's a question for Seth. Ethan will go through and pick a couple, and we've got some $20 gift cards, $50 gift cards to Omnia Fishing that we'll just be handing out at random, essentially.
Oh, this is slick. The big question I have now is, we were trying to force Ben Stone, our new videographer, to be the one driving the boat. Let's see if he can stuff one.
He is driving. He's doing it with confidence.
That is good to show you a little bit, though, that Mille Lacs is a lot bigger than people think. Oh, it's Feider running.
We want audio, or should I mute it? I kind of like the audio.
I kind of like it too.
Here, I wonder if I could do this. Hold on a second.
He's sending it.
Yeah.
What part of the lake?
He kept saying in the middle.
He kept saying out in the middle, but they also was talking about how rough the middle was. That's what I just kind of wanted to see.
We're going to see that here.
Comments just blew up. This is awesome.
Yeah, the camera doesn't do it justice. It doesn't look bumpy, but obviously the boat's jamming a little bit.
Yeah, while he's doing this, a big shout out guys to Omnia. Like I said, this is running on the Bass Talk live stream. We've held over 350 live viewers for this entire time. Big shout out to Omnia for inviting BTL to be a part of this, for supporting the channel. I know there's a lot of BTL listeners that support Omnia for it, but this has been a home run logistically. Like, this is kind of how BTL, the Bass Zone, and Mark Jeffrey started way back in the day, and there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong. You guys have done a great job on it so far today.
Well, thank you. We were nervous about it this morning, and it's going better than I even thought it was going to go. So obviously this was a tester to see what we could start doing with these and do them on a larger scale. So we really do appreciate your partnership and all the listeners of BTL. You guys have been great in helping us grow this thing. Obviously, we're still a young company. A lot of people sometimes can forget that, myself included. But we're really realistically only about 4 years in retail, and we're spending a lot of money in the tech space side of things. So a lot of good stuff to come, I promise. So thanks for all the support. Yeah, back at you, Hanger. The BTL support's been awesome for this. So hopefully Seth can make it there to this here bedfish and close this thing out with a bang.
Let's get back. Let's get some audio so we can get fully immersed in it. He's sending it.
Oh yeah, he's on it.
I just hope the stream, you never know when that stream's gonna die. So I hope that stream is it stays, because our viewers are jumping up on it right now. Everyone's calling everyone saying, hey, he's after a giant. Did he ever say how big he thought it was? He just said he thought it was one that could help.
He said it was well over 20 inches, so he thinks it's for sure a 21, 22 inch fish. The thing that's got me nervous is they tried to flog it this morning in the wind, and he said that they didn't see it. So,
didn't see where it was, or just couldn't find where it was supposed to be?
Yeah, I don't think they could see the fish at all, but he's pretty confident it's there. It just wasn't locked down on the bed.
Also had Brad down there in 2-foot waves trying to flog it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brad's doing a heck of a job with the camera as well.
Yeah.
Mille Lacs is one of those lakes that everything looks close until you start driving.
Yeah, exactly. That's the truth. Oh, while we have the time, I'm extremely interested. What are your early thoughts on the Puma STS?
Very smooth, super smooth, jumps out of the hole super easy. I'm still trying to get used to the lithium starters on it and the weight distribution with that.
Okay.
But love the fishing platform. It's a little bit wider up at the front. Everyone I've talked to has said, oh, you're going to love it. I've not had a single, and I love it so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't have very many hours on it. I'm going to get a few more hours on it this afternoon, and then out on Monday again as well. But yeah, as a whole, it's a really a lot of cool features.
I'm obsessed with that boat, so I'm very interested to hear more of your feedback on it as you go with it.
I'll give it. All right, he appears to be approaching. No, or did he just get to the side where he can really open it up?
Yeah, it looked like he might have tried to get out of it. Oh, goodness. Tucked in on the west side.
I said it's 132,000 acres, but Mille Lacs is really one of those fisheries where there's. Would you guys say there's fishing sections, areas,
very much so.
You're going to a section where they're fishing. There's a lot of the acreage where smallmouth bass fishing does not take place.
Correct. That to our knowledge is we've always wondered, now that the scoping guys.
Yeah, no, that's probably where they all are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or we're wondering if they're out there in the middle of the mud flats, but that's what the walleye guys have always deemed it, the mud flats out in the middle. And that's just thousands of acres of mud out there that bug hatches come out of. So we do know people have caught smallmouth out in the middle of nowhere, and muskies out in the middle of nowhere out there. But it seems pretty random. There's nothing you could pattern or go out there and look for. You know what I mean? You would almost, most of the people I know that have caught decent sized smallmouth out there were walleye guys trolling lead core.
Mm-hmm. And if you're going to go it's still a destination trip. Like you said, you mentioned those guides and that it's a very helpful to be or talk or be with someone who kind of knows what's going on, because Seth makes this thing look really easy from what we've seen today. But dude, he's on very specific stuff.
Yeah, without a doubt. That is the truth. It is not as easy as it looks.
Mm-hmm. I've always said, that northern deal, anywhere from Minnesota all the way up through Buffalo, if you're a southern, or up through Thousand Islands, if you're a southern dude who's going up there, you're going to spend a lot of money anyway. Spend the time to get put on them. And that's also one of these sections where, a guide spending some money to be with someone for safety too, especially if you're going up there with your family. This is big water.
Yes, that's a very good point. For the safety factor alone, a lot of this big water stuff is no joke. So yeah, it'd be smart. There's a lot of good people that work in these lakes and know it like the back of their hand. So,
and then you can also get a clue. Also, one of the cool things on Omnia is the fishing reports and the ambassadors that you have on there that can kind of give you a clue when you go to these places, whether it's a net or a fly or drop shot, jerk bait, topwater thing.
Exactly. You got something for us there, Ethan? We could do a giveaway, yeah. What do we got? Give away some Omnia stuff, or what do we got to give away? A Seth Feider signed Omnia hat? Let's do it. Who are we giving it to?
All right, I think it's time. We're going to give away a couple signed Omnia hats.
There we go.
With Seth's autograph. We're going to do 2 of them.
Okay.
Why not? Feeling pretty generous.
Yes, you are.
Our 2 winners so far are going to be Dale Van Horn and Jim G. Lopez.
Nice.
Jim Lopez, you said?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Pretty sure
He
he's
does
Omnia ambassador. Pretty good one, too.
Dude, he's like 5,800 RPMs right now.
Oh yeah, that's what 70 looks like. 3 guys.
Is that the 22 that he's running that MBT or the 16?
That's the 22-inch MBT.
Wow, that looks stable up there.
It does. It's mounted up there pretty hard. We
That's
put it
a
on
slab.
here.
That's a slab of meat.
Yeah, it's heavy. We put it on here at Omnia. It was, I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and now I desperately want one. I had a full range of emotions with it. I went through.
Did he not have his wheels mounted above?
He did. He moved it to the side just to have more mapping off the side. When it was up front, it was affecting the performance of the boat.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. We're just making sure we're getting everything dialed in so people still have a little audio. Could we do a giveaway? Could we do a crazy giveaway if he catches them and someone guesses the actual inch length? The first
probably
person
should. Yes,
that would
we
be
can do that. Yeah.
like everybody get in how long. The first person that you could see in the comments it has if he catches this fish exactly to the 1/4 of an inch how long it is. I feel like that could be worthy of a.
It is. It is worthy of $100 Omnia gift card at a minimum.
Oh.
Yeah. We got enough people on, so let's do it.
Yeah. So just start now, and then we'll have to scroll back through and
get in them comments, boys.
Yeah.
That was whoever's first.
Scroll back through, and this is a big if. There's no giveaway if he doesn't.
It's inches. Don't do the weight. We got to do the
inches and 1/4 inch increments.
Yeah.
1/4 inch increments. So like
we're obviously gonna have a lot of the same answers. So
that's why I said it's got to be the first one that I think is correct, don't you?
Could we do total inches plus what he's going to catch it on? Drop shot 2. That's probably too complicated.
That's
Yes, let's just keep it with.
Yeah.
I hope we get to keep. I mean, so far so good.
Yeah.
And he apparently I think he's in a different part. Like, look, it's getting a little bumpy now.
Yeah. And to hook out from that west side a little bit.
Yeah, we're running out of gas.
Oh
no.
Oh no.
Yeah, I got to switch tanks.
Oh, okay. God, we got 2 tanks. That would have been hilarious. Now we get to watch him trolling motor back to the ramp. Live. All right. Seth, can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
sorry, I ran 1 tank dry.
How far we got?
Not too terrible now.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you could hear that. We have a contest running now, so there's a little bit of pressure on you.
Okay, I got 4 more miles to go.
all
Okay.
right, stab it.
So that means you got about 5 people have about 5 minutes to get their guesses on.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a bumpy 4 miles though. We got to get off the bank now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to word this. Guess how long? There we go. Yeah. Like it's got to be 1/4 of an inches. So 20 inches, 20.25 or 20 1/4, 20 1/2, 20 3/4, 21, and any length, like 20.11 doesn't work. We're not weighing them. We're doing inches.
Yep.
Inches and quarter of inches. Yep.
Should see how much shorter Ben and Brad are going to be after this boat ride too.
Which one's in the middle?
That's a good question. That's going to be the one that's a little shorter.
There's the current standings right there. So that's been updated. Seth is now up into 4th with that 19.5. So if this thing is as big as he thinks it may be and he gets it in the boat, that would be a massive call.
Yes, it would. All right, Panger, what's your biggest bedfish tournament-wise?
Tournament-wise?
Where was it? How big was it?
I'm trying to think tournament-wise.
Are you a bed guy for the opens in the spring? Do you even screw with them?
No, not really, not particularly. I mean, I caught one almost 7 on a drop shot at Gunnersville in a Bass Nation regional 5, 6, 7 years ago.
That's a good one. That counts.
Yeah, it was a big one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was 100% it. It was spawning on an actual step. Like I went around the dock and like this fish was 6 inches under the water, sitting on like the old people steps where you walk down into the water.
Yeah.
It had made its bed on the actual step. It was pretty cool.
One caster, or was it did you work?
Yeah, no, it was like 1 or 2 casts. Like I mean, it was one of those where you're like, oh, it's not leaving the step. Donk. Had like a bunch of algae and stuff on the steps, and it like completely made it shiny around. Mm-hmm. It was cool, but that's one of the only few. Oh, come on, keep going with this stream here.
Yeah, he's getting out in the middle now.
I know.
He wasn't kidding about that.
This is what percentage are you giving him, Pete? That A, we keep the stream, B, he catches it, and C, it culls.
Well, he's had a horseshoe up his ass our whole friendship. I'm going, he's going to get it. I'm saying, especially today, he's been catching him. He's been calling the shots pretty good. So I'm going to say there's a 65 to 70. I'm saying 70% chance he catches it.
What do you think, Kip?
Pete's known him his whole life, so I'd have to agree with him. But I'm feeling pretty confident about the live stream, knock on wood. We didn't expect it to turn out like this, and just, we haven't had many issues.
Well, we'll find out. Hopefully, the big dud here is if the fish is not there. But
I feel like he wouldn't do this if he didn't think that he's got a pretty good shot at it. Like this doesn't.
I agree with you.
I think it's got to be 90% to me.
Yeah. I'm excited about it though. Hopefully.
And I don't think he would do it if he didn't think it was at least a 21-inch fish.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, he's not going to pull up and catch a 2.5.
That would be it. Hey, that'd probably count in the guess thing. So whoever wants to throw a guess on the bottom end there.
Like I said, if it was the first person who guessed the correct length that we can find in the comments. So there's going to be a bunch of duplicates, folks. That's just the way it rolls. All right, we should be approaching the spot.
Yeah. He's slowing down.
Mm-hmm. You think he's going to go drop shot right off the hop?
Yeah, I would guess.
Has he thrown a net at all today?
Just that little baby tube. He's got a little tiny tube. Throws a lot.
It is out in the middle.
All right,
wow.
we still got you?
Oh yeah, you're golden.
Yeah, we got you.
All
This is intense. We got a lot of guesses going on what the length of this fish is going to be. We got a contest rolling.
Okay. I don't know for sure, but he's got to be like a 20-incher. I don't know.
Matt, do we still have an audience for him here? How many people are watching him?
We're approaching 400.
All right.
Wow.
No
400
pressure.
people watch that boat
Yeah.
ride across
Yeah.
this lake.
Yes.
Yeah, between 350 and
Yeah.
400 is what it's pretty much bounced around the whole time.
So let's not
Wow.
win not the bitch out of this thing right off the bat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna get right on top of it and drop it, dude.
The dart adds a half inch.
We're gonna have Brad on the flogger, see if this thing's here. It's out like 12 foot. It's pretty deep.
Oh, Brad's going in on the flogger in them waves. It's not as bad out there as I pictured, but it's on the camera.
It's actually a better
Well-
stream than it was.
Yeah, we took the shoreline around. It wouldn't have been too pretty going
All right.
right down it.
Walk us through what you're looking for, so.
Yeah.
Well, it was glass calm when I could see it. I'm on the top of a little tiny hump. There's a little sand spot on top of this hump. The rest of it's all rock. I could actually see the fish with my eyes a couple days ago. I put a dot directly on top of the bed. I'm going to get right on top of it and probably have Brad get on the flogger and see if we can get evidence that he's here, and then I'll just kind of back up and just keep pitching at my waypoint. I don't know if I'll be able to see it. I wasn't able to see anything on perspective here earlier, but it was a lot rougher earlier too, or last time I was here on them.
How big are those waves right now?
Yeah,
We can't
that's what I
tell.
was going to ask.
Foot and a half with some twos mixed in,
Gotcha.
but getting bumpier by the minute.
Yeah.
It like as soon as we decided to come down here, that's when that first little gust of wind hit, and yeah, it's gonna get it'll get rolling here in a minute. Hopefully, we can catch them before any of that happens.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I'm having a hard time getting back up to them.
What do you got the trolling motor on?
I just cranked her up. I was only on 12.
Oh, are you going drop shot?
Actually, the last one I caught on my drop shot, I lost my weight, so I'm just pitching a tube.
Okay.
I don't much think it'll matter if he's here.
Yeah, but not because you think that's a tube fish, just because you don't want to dig out
Yeah.
that drop shot. Wait, okay.
But I actually do have another drop shot rigged up.
You did just drop miles to catch it. Was the bed pretty evident?
Not really, no. It wasn't like a no doubt or I really saw the fish more than I saw the bed when I could see good, so.
Gotcha.
See, look, I think he's. See.
Hey, get up here, Brad. Let's see if
Ooh,
he's
here we
there.
go. Folks. Here we go, folks. He's on Seth Feider is on his waypoint. He's looking to go well over 100 inches for his best 5. A 20-mile run in choppy conditions to a dicey bedfish that he thinks could be somewhere between 20 and 22 inches in the 4 to 7 pound range. He's not really sure because it's deep water.
I feel like we're going to see the bottom of Brad's shoes here any minute.
Yeah, pretty good chance of that. He's definitely getting wet.
He's just Brad's just
Yeah,
eating
right here.
it with the flogger on every
Just
single
stay down
wave.
there, Brad.
Flogging in the waves is no joke. Do you see him? You don't see anything? Brad says he doesn't see him.
Really?
Nothing?
Seth, you better
No.
verify this on
That's
the
what I'm
flogger.
saying.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
might want to look at that, Seth.
Not that we don't trust Brad.
Yeah.
They're not trusting you, Brad.
No, this is a soup sandwich here. You need to get on the flogger here, Seth. you clue us in, Seth, of where you are
There's no
on the
fish
lake?
there. Brad says there is no fish here.
All right.
I just can't believe he left. Like, I've seen it sometimes where in the morning they're just not there, and then you come back a little later and they are there. But I mean, this
Did
fish
anybody
couldn't have
guess
been here this long out in the
There
middle.
was no
of it.
fish, no inches, 0 inches.
Did
No one
anyone
guessed?
guess 0 inches? I might have put a caveat where I was like, if he catches it.
Yeah, that's probably. It's too late now once I said that.
That's
too.
my fault. Now, it's a valiant effort, folks. Ryan, Clay, Sean, well played.
See him?
Uh-oh.
He gave me an ope. I thought something was going on.
Oh,
That's just
No,
him
that was
eating
him getting-
another
yeah,
Mille Lacs 3-footer.
yeah. It was him just getting punched in the face by the flogger for the 3rd time.
Yeah,
What is
he'll
the
get
water
you.
temp?
He's not. Brad says he's not there. Currently at our location, we're 62 degrees. Let me see that thing. Brad.
That's chilly.
Yeah.
Oh, Seth is going to flog.
Yeah.
Watch the earbuds.
I got the ones with the. They're taped into my head right now, so
Okay.
I don't think they're going anywhere. I just cannot believe he's not here.
Oh?
Oh, this is gonna get ugly. Watch this, boys. I'm gonna eat one in the chest.
She handled it just fine, Seth.
Well, I looked pretty big. I thought it was gonna come right over on me, especially since I was going into it too.
What if we lose Seth off the front?
Could you imagine if someone came into this live stream not ever having watched fishing before and saw this?
I know.
I mean, I think Brad's right. I don't think he's there. He should be pretty easy
Oh.
to see. He's on like white zebra mussel shell stuff.
Yeah.
So he should pop pretty good. There's a nice one right in the
That came right over nice. Yeah. That did.
That's a valiant effort, Seth. We greatly appreciate going there.
Yeah. I mean, we left biting fish to run all the way across the rough lake. To go to a bed fish we have already checked today that wasn't there this morning.
That sounds like a typical tournament move.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we're playing hero ball, man. That's what we were trying to do.
All right, you still
Yeah,
have
I
a little
think
bit of time, though, right?
I think she's gone, boys.
Well,
Yeah, I got about 40 minutes. I'll probably go into Cove Bay. I don't know. Maybe we'll go catch a buckethead up a dock or something.
there you go. Well, post some pictures if you guys catch them. We appreciate the effort running in the big water.
I could just go do an MLF and catch that 21 and a quarter I already caught this morning, but I think we'll just let him be. Been keeping it honest up until this point, so. But I'm closer to that one than I am to anything else at this point.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, sucker's gone. Sorry, boys.
that's all right.
I don't
We
know
appreciate the
how
That
or
was
effort.
why,
awesome.
But she don't exist. Yeah,
All right.
we're gonna head into Cove Bay and wrap up the day. Get
You
out
got
and
40
swim a little
minutes. See you,
bit.
Seth.
All right, thanks, boys. We'll see you
You
guys.
guys.
Peace out.
There you go.
Well, thanks again, Panger. That was cool as hell.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed the heck out of it. One more time, just run through the details of what it is, where the contest runs, how long it runs through, how people can get involved, and they'll be competing against, well, some of the fish that we saw Seth catch today on air.
Yep. So the tournament's held through Tourney X. Anybody can join, completely free. The tournament runs from May 22nd to June 16th. So still got a few more weeks, but Seth's best 5 from today is what you're going to want to try to beat. We've got an overall winner in the south and an overall winner in the north. So you can visit the landing page and see all the prizes, but if you're an Omnia Pro member, your prizes are double. So use BTL for Pro, get 40% off your Omnia Pro membership, and beat Seth Feider.
Fantastic, guys. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into doing a live production like this. It's not just call up Seth. A lot of hours go into it. Go to both the Omnia stream on and follow the Omnia Fishing YouTube channel, and then also the BTL Bass Talk Live YouTube channel. Thumbs up, comments, share that stream. That goes a long way, and the more eyeballs that are on stuff like this, the more it allows Pete, Kip, the team at Omnia, and then me over at BTL, the opportunity to do cool stuff, like where you can be sitting or standing or working or doing whatever you're doing and watch Seth Feider run 20 miles on Mille Lacs Lake and try to flog up a 6-pound smallmouth.
Yeah.
So there's my little speech, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for the time and the opportunity. Big shout out to Seth Feider. BTL returns tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Trailer maintenance episode with the man, the myth, and the legend Frank Scalish talking about how to not get stranded on the side of the road this summer.
Good call.
That's all we got. I think the stream's still going. I think we just bring the stream back in as he runs. Put it on the big screen and say, this has been another edition of BTL Fast Talk Live, and we'll talk to everybody tomorrow. See ya.
Thanks a lot, Matt.